So here's the big question. How are entrepreneurs like us, who have been hustling and struggling to make it to success, who seem to make it one step forward only to fall two steps back, who are dedicated, determined, and driven, how do we finally break through and win? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Kelly, and this is the Mind, Body, Business Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind, Body, Business Show. Oh my goodness me, oh my, we have one incredible show for you lined up tonight because the one and only, that's right, Alayna Zenger is going to be on here in just a moment, and you are going to be wowed. You're going to be blown away with the accomplishments and how far this young woman has gotten into her career already. And she's far exceeded many colleagues I know personally at a similar age as mine. And you're going to know what that is in a little while because I always kind of reveal it. You'll figure it out. It'll be fun. Just be listening for that. So the Mind, Body, Business Show, it is a show that I had put together specifically with you in mind, the business owner, the entrepreneur that's looking for any and every way to get farther, faster, to get to that higher level of success so that you can then set your goal for the next level and go after that. And every time I have a guest expert on this show, that is exactly what happens because I only bring on successful entrepreneurs and they come from all over the world. Tonight, we have a almost world traveler. She will tell her story about that, where they don't actually have a home to live in or an apartment that they call home for an extended period of time. It's pretty full. It's pretty cool. Really fun. I like what they're doing. And so it's literally a show for you. And it's going to be something that Alayna is going to come on and give you some incredible wisdom, some knowledge bombs, some great nuggets for you to take action with. And it's really about what I call the 3 pillars of success. This show is what I mean by that. And that is the very title of this show, Mind Being Mindset. And what happened was over the course of about 10 years, I studied and I focused on only successful people, like what made them perhaps more successful than yours truly. And I found after all of this studying and reading books and meeting with these people, others that I never had met or some that were no longer with us that I would learn from on their videos and or books, just studying successful people, is they all had these 3 qualities that kept bubbling up, and it's mind, body, and business. So it stands for mindset. And to a person, each of these successful individuals had a very powerful, very positive, and most importantly, which most people don't get this one, flexible mindset. It is so supremely important to have a flexible mindset. And body. Each of these individuals literally took care of themselves, physically and nutritionally. Just what it says, body. Because here's the thing, the mind and body are a team. More importantly, the mind and body are your team. And so if any member of a team is not operating at full peak potential, guess what's going to happen? The team as a whole will suffer. So you must address both, and that's what successful people do. And then business. Business is multifaceted. There's things that, skill sets that one must master in order to have a successful business, to build a great team, to scale it, to grow it. And there are skill sets like marketing, team building, systematizing, leadership, sales. I mean, I could go on and on. And the real good news is you personally don't have to master every single skill set, not even all the ones I just mentioned, because that would take a lifetime to do that or more. And so the good news is if you master just one of those, and it was one of those I just rattled off just a moment ago, you can leverage that skill set to help you bring in the others. And that skill set is the leadership, or the skill set of leadership, the leadership of skill set. Yeah, it's the skill set of leadership. And even if you don't currently have a team, and you might say, Brian, I don't, how am I supposed to be a leader when I'm just me, myself, and I? Well, you start developing that business culture and start leading yourself as if you were one of your own, and start working it right away. There's no excuse not to. And I'll tell you, I can't tell you strongly enough how important that is not only to become an effective leader, also, if you don't have the help yet, to really focus on that as being your next move, is to get the help. total game changer. And so speaking of game changers, another great trait I found in these very successful people to a person was they were also very, very avid readers of books. And with that, I want to segue into a little segment I affectionately call bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by reachyourpeaklibrary.com.
And a very quick word of advice for all of you watching and listening is that you're going to get a lot of resources on this show, like reachyourpeaklibrary.com, in the form of websites and books and other things. That happens every show. What I would implore upon you to do is, rather than, succumb to that urge to go clicking away and checking it out while the show's going, instead, write it down. You remember those things? They're called pens. And you remember that stuff called paper? Write it down. I have electronic paper here. And then go visit it after the show is over. Why? Because I have spoke from stage many times, and I would be getting to the juicy part, knowing, it's my presentation. I know where the heavy hitting stuff is coming. And then I would notice perhaps someone would get up out of their chair and they're staring at their phone. They got that all important text message or phone message, or they had to go to the bathroom. They're leaving the room and missing what could potentially change their life forever. I would hate for that to happen with you. I know we're not in a physical room, but it's all about your focus. What are you focusing on? So please stay focused on Alayna when she comes on, which is right after this, and focus on her. Take notes, voracious notes, really write down a lot of notes, and then go visit them after the fact. That's my soapbox moment, and I'm done with that. So please do yourself a favor and just take notes during this show. All right. Reach Your Peak Library is a site that I literally had built with you in mind. I know it sounds a little cheesy, maybe, but here's the thing. I myself was not a voracious reader until the age of 47. And that was about 11 years ago. So you got that. Yep. They've all done the math. And it has become a life-changing. It just completely changed my life. And so not just reading any books, but the right books to help you propel you farther, faster, not just in business, but also in life. And so what you see scrolling on the screen, if you're watching live right now, is a collection of books I personally have read and I vet. Not every book I've ever read is on here. I started reading using Audible, and that allowed me to get through a lot of books in a very short period of time. I didn't realize it, but I don't like reading with my eyeballs. And once Audible came out, I'm like, all right, let's go. Now I'm a voracious reader as well. So here's a resource for you. You click on those buttons, they go to Amazon, buy the book from wherever you like to get your books. This is not for the purpose of making money. Find the book that just resonates. They're not in any kind of rhyme or reason order of any kind. They're just slapped in here as I read them. And just pick the first one that resonates, that speaks to you, and then go get it and then read it and then wash, rinse, repeat. That is reachyourpeaklibrary.com. And it is time, finally, at last, for Brian to stop blabbing and bring on the amazing Alayna Zenger. Here we go.
It's time for the Guest Expert Spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
And there she is, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it is the one. It is the only Alayna Zenger.
What's up? It's so good to see everybody. Thanks so much for having me on.
Oh, my goodness. So Alayna, she reached out to me on Facebook. We were just talking about this. I'm like, how did we meet? She remembered. She's young. She's got a good memory. And she reached out on Facebook and asked me, invited me to be on her podcast, which I did. And I'm like, wow, you're an amazing young woman. So I want to invite you on mine. So it's called a stage swap in modern terms. And that's something you can implement right away as a strategy. If you have a podcast, I'm talking to the audience, is to do that. You can literally use each other's platforms and spread the word and be part of other people's tribes. Yes, and get a lot more exposure that way. And that's the purpose of this show, is to really lift and raise Alayna, because not only she deserves it. I'm just going to say it because she deserves it. She has put in the time and the effort, and it's very obvious to me that she has, because of the results she's getting, not only for her business, but most importantly for her clients. And that's why we all do what we do. And so truly excited to have you on, Alayna. I'm going to give you that wonderful intro that you so richly deserve. We'll chat a little bit and we'll do a little bookkeeping or housekeeping, I call it, but it's literally bookkeeping to have a quick little ad spot run, but in a moment. But first, Alayna is the owner of Your Client Success. Your Client Success helps online business owners who have coaching programs to manage their clients and systemize their delivery systems. She's currently living in states 3 months at a time. This is great. Doing what she classifies as Airbnb hopping, where they move from state to state, living in Airbnbs for 3 months at a time. What a great way to see the country and maybe find out where you do want to hang your hat for a while. Alayna loves the game of business, and she loves networking with other fellow business owners. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, officially, formally, the one, the only Alayna Zenger. Welcome to the show, Alayna.
Thank you so much for that intro. I'm very, very excited to be here. Just love the platform. It was great to meet you on my podcast and was really excited when we're like, oh yeah, we could totally do this whole stage swapping thing. And so it's great to be here.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, you've just so supremely impressed me with that podcast. You are so like, I don't want to say the word mature. You're
A lot of people do use that word though.
Yeah, it just implies that you're super young. You are young, but
Yes.
I don't want it to make it sound like, yeah, it's just you are ahead of the game. I'm just trying to think of the right proper word. You have put in the time. You've paid your dues, the due diligence. I don't know if you've slept since you left high school or not, but and I kidded with her earlier saying, I've never seen anyone at 17 do so much. And she goes, well, I'm a little bit older than that, but I'm not going to reveal that.
22. I'm 22, everybody.
Oh my
just
goodness.
In case you're wondering.
She went there. See,
I
it's
went
not
there.
that much. 22. She's barely legal to drink alcohol, and she's crushing it in business. And we're going to talk about that. I can't wait. And so, real quick, how did you get where you are? What led you down the path to become an entrepreneur? It sounded like it started at a very young age, much younger than even 17. And what got you started? And then what propelled you to have a already successful business at such a young age?
Yes. So to give some context, I have probably been doing business entrepreneur stuff since I was 12, 13, around that age. I started with a bread business. And so my mom had created this really amazing, healthy bread recipe that she would make at home for my family. Literally, like she would grind the wheat at our house.
Wow.
We would then bake it in our oven. We had the dough, we would let the dough rise, all the things. So it was a full process. And something about me is I love bread. I love eating bread. I eat it in very thick slices. I'm a thick type slice person. And so I loved it and was like, it was 100% whole wheat. It was super healthy and it tasted amazing. And I was like, I wonder if other people would want to taste this as well. And so what I did was I was like, okay, let me just go around to my neighbors because I didn't really know anything about marketing at that point or anything like that. My parents are entrepreneurs. And so I was like, I literally had made a loaf and it was warm and I carried it around and cut up little slices and gave it to my neighbors and just knocked on door to door and was like, hey, do you want me to make this for you on a weekly basis? And they were like, yeah, that sounds great. And then some people were like, well, I don't know. Is it going to go bad since it's so fresh? And I'm like, well, you can freeze it and then you can reheat it and it's all good. So that's where it started. And I ended up making like over 50 to 60 loaves in one oven a week.
Wow.
And I was charging $5 a loaf. And so like it started to grow. But eventually that definitely got really, really tiring, trying to make 60 loaves in one oven I only had 5 bread pans. So I was literally cooking bread all week long. And so then I switched to washing windows. I had a friend that did it and she was like, oh yeah, it's like super easy. that was an interesting term that she used. Washing windows is not easy, but it was something that people wanted. And so then again, I went to the neighbors and were like, hey, your windows are dirty. I can come and clean them, and cleaned one and was like, do you like it? And they were like, yes. So then I cleaned their whole house, and did that for a couple of summers. But then I remember I was a ballroom dancer. I ballroom danced for 13 years. I danced professionally, and my ballroom coach was super big into marketing and online selling and building courses and everything like that. And I remember that I told him one day when I was at the dance studio that, oh, I just really don't want anybody else to be my boss. Like, I want to be my own boss. And that's kind of been a thing since I was little. Most people growing up with me would classify me as bossy. I'm definitely a leader in that sense, a little headstrong there. And he was like, oh, well, let me tell you about this online thing. And that's where it started, around age 15 or 16, which has led me into what I'm doing now. And I think ultimately the thing that has really led to my growth and being so young, I appreciate the statement of like, yes, you're so young, you're ahead of the game, but I see kids that are younger than me and they're billionaires and, all these things. And so I'm looking at it going, man, like I'm not enough yet. Like, I have to continue to grow. Like, there's so much more for me to reach. But for me, what made the difference was really that focus and attention to mindset and being surrounded by the right people who could teach me about that and really show me how important it is. And I started working on my mindset at a very, very young age and being surrounded by the people that could show me how to do it well. And I think that has made all of the difference.
That's interesting that you said finding the right people to surround yourself with, and it's so vital. And I've talked to numerous folks, again, kind of in my age bracket, and one of the most common questions or thoughts that they have is, well, how do I even find these people to begin with that I know I should be hanging out with? I mean, how did you find the right people and know that they're the right people? Did you what was your strategy? Did you go to them and say, I'll do something, I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine. I'll do something for free. I'll wash your windows for a week, whatever. I'll make you some bread. What was your strategy and how did you make that happen?
Yeah. So I think I found the right people when I was like 14 years old. So really had no strategy. If you had asked me that question when I was 14, I've been like, oh, it was just completely by chance. Because I didn't actively find these people. But looking at it now, the people that I surrounded myself with were my ballroom coach, which was a very big influence. And then also the other people at my dance studio. So I think where it came from was going, okay, I have an interest in this thing. I liked ballroom dancing. I wanted to start getting into that. And so then I went and tried a bunch of different studios and was like, okay, I vibe with this studio the best. Because they had similar values to what I aspire to be. And so, for example, what kind of dancer I wanted to be was a hardworking dancer, one that would come in and would practice hours on end, be surrounded by a studio and a culture that was belief-based in terms of we believe in ourselves, we can move forward, we can push past our limits. One of my coach's sayings was, we practice so then in the face of adversity, we can overcome all odds. That was also just all of these little things to me were kind of showing me that this was the dancer that I wanted to be. And because of that, I continued to stay at that studio. So I think finding the right people can really start with, I'm interested in this thing. Either I'm following these type of people on social media and I'm really seeing, I like what they're doing. It may not have anything to do with what my life is currently about, but I really like this. And then go and find if they have events going on, or go and figure out a way that you can be a part of their circle. A way that I've done this just recently is there's this company that I love called All Day Running Co. And I am not a runner. I don't run very well. I love working out. I love all those things, but running is definitely a challenge for me. But they do, their whole company mission is all day, all in. And I love that. And they keep posting on Instagram about all these cool events that they're doing. And so even though I'm not a runner, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to one of these events to go and just meet these people and become a runner, right? Because that seems interesting to me. But I don't know if they're going to be the right people or not, but I think so. There's an interest there, so I'm going to go see. And that's where I started.
That is so astute, so genius. I mean, already everyone, I'm thinking of all the people I know that if they just followed that, and it's simple and it's also just genius. I mean,
Yeah.
And another great platform, I think you'll probably agree, that will also help people to get in front of the right people and know who the ones are that they want to be hanging out with and learn from, is what we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
To host your own show, whether it be a podcast or a video, at least just start. But now you can leverage that, if you have your own, to do these stage swaps, so that others that you want to have as a guest on your show and vice versa, it'd be much easier to make that happen both ways and double your exposure by doing that.
Yeah.
And so I've known that I've done this show for almost, it's going on 5 years. And the amount of people I met, the amazing relationships that I've formed that are long. I mean, to this day, many. As a result, I've been involved in mastermind groups that I never would have. I've become a client of theirs. They've become a client of mine. It's a two-way street. I never make it transactional. And if you just concentrate on relationship building, it happens organically. Is that something? I mean, oh my gosh, I'm jumping ahead of myself here, but I love this. One of my go-to most favorite topics on the planet is that of marketing. It is the lifeblood of any company. Yeah. And we'll bring up your site here in a little bit, your website. But what I wanted to find out from you, because here's the thing with marketing, what worked 10, 15, 20 years ago, I know you're pretty young then, most likely is not working today.
Yeah.
And what's working today, as far as marketing, may not be working in 10, 15, 20 years in the future. But there is one common denominator that has worked throughout all of time when it comes to marketing, and that is establishing personal relationships.
Yeah.
But that takes time. So for you have grown a business quite rapidly in my eyes. What would you say right now, today, is your number one go-to? You only get one to choose on this one. Marketing strategy, if you will, that is working best for you and your company.
Oh, and I only get to pick one.
The biggest and best.
So I think out of all of the different strategies that there are, I think the best one is connecting with influencers or other people that already have your audience. I think that is a strategy that is always going to be relevant. It was interesting that you brought up, the strategies change, and what was relevant 15 years ago may not be working today. I'm already starting to see that. We can give an example with cold DMing, right? That was a big thing. And now you're starting to see that more and more people are wary of it. Facebook is putting more restrictions on that. And so it's a little bit like, oh, that cold DMing is not quite working as well as it used to. But one that I think in terms of that kind of lasts through all time is that connecting with people that already have your audience, because it has that fundamental piece in it, which is relationships. And the goal with that is building relationships with the people that have already done the work. And the reason that I think that's so important is because these influencers, they already have the trust of their people. And when you have the trust of your audience, you can tell them a thing and they are going to want to do it because they trust you and they believe in your ability to get them the results that they want. It's simply like thinking at it like if Oprah had your book next to her on her table, people would buy it. She doesn't even need to mention it, but people would buy it because she has so much trust of her followers. People look at it and go, well, if Oprah's reading that, I need to read that. And it's that same type of thing. Instead of fighting against it and trying to get people's trusts, go and connect with the leader of their audience, the leader of their tribe, and go, okay, do we have some sort of synergy between our offers? Can we do some sort of collaboration here where then you can say, hey, the influencer can come and go, hey guys, if you're looking for this thing, this is the person that you want to go to because I've gained trust with them. I trust them. I think that they are a good ethical person. And so I'm going to give them my vote of confidence. And just by them saying that I think is going to increase your audience size, your sales, whatever it may be. And personally, I think that that's a strategy that will last for a very, very long time because it's founded on relationships.
Okay, based on that, and that's very also genius, is what is your go-to method for the first outreach to those influencers?
So I think the first thing is always going and giving value on their content. These people are, if they're doing any kind of online promotion, which if they're big influencers, right, they probably have a platform where they're most present. Go and engage on their stuff. That's the thing that they probably value the most, because engaging, liking, clicking on their stuff, potentially going and buying a couple of their lead magnets or anything like that, that is what is bringing them revenue. And that is what they value, right? Because engagement, if you think you're a content creator, right, people commenting is huge. It's boosting you in the algorithm. So go and comment on their stuff. If they have a podcast, leave them a review. Like going and seeing reviews on my podcast is huge. I want to know those people. I'm like, oh wow, like this person gave me 5 stars. Like who said that? Like that's super nice. So go and just do that for, I think, doing it for a couple of weeks, maybe even a month, to show that you're not here just to get into their DMs, right? You're not just here to like a couple of their posts and then send them a message. I personally think that that comes off as sleazy. I've gotten a couple of those where I literally see somebody come in and they like all of my posts, even my posts from like 2 years ago that haven't been active for 2 years. And then they send me a message the day later. And I'm like, you were just liking my posts, cuz. Right? You want to show that you're genuinely interested and connect with people that you actually want to have a conversation with.
Great advice. There are a lot of those out there. There's words about that, trolls and different kinds. Good friend Bill Koppel is watching. This guy has been through a lot. He's had multiple brain injuries and he has overcome that, and he's had to learn to walk again. And he's talking about back when you were talking about running. So that came in about that time. It's that first step you take, and you will even amaze yourself what you can accomplish. So thank you, Bill. Good to see you again. And we have an actual kind of sort of question. Inevitable Starboy, who I just met on Facebook earlier today, said, what if that is not the only way? Because I know some stuff. Well, I think the obvious answer is it isn't the only way. There are many ways. It's just right now, Alayna was saying this is her primary go-to. And it wasn't the only. She was saying, I only get to pick one. That means she has several, and we all do at all times. And it's always good. Yes,
definitely important.
So and there's all kinds of strategies out there many that do work now. And like you also said, some that are starting to fade already that were working for you just a little while ago. And it's so true. You just have to keep on top of it and keep moving and keep flexible. That was one of the main things in the beginning. So all right, we went deep into the show, and I still need to do that little bit of housekeeping. I think we'll take a quick little break. Don't go anywhere, anyone. We're going to come right back with Alayna Zenger in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. Don't touch that dial, as we used to say when we were youngins. We used to have a dial. You had to actually turn a knob on a television.
See that? Set. I don't know.
Yeah. Put down the remote. Okay, don't touch that mouse. There's one. All right. Here we go. We'll be right back in just a little bit. Hang tight. Hey, if you're watching the Mind Body Business Show live right now, then you will have the ability to win a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort of your choosing, compliments of the Big Insider Secrets. What is it? It is a 5-night vacation stay to one of many destinations across the world. You can see as we go through this very quickly, there's some in Branson and Daytona Beach. These are in the United States, all over the United States, New Orleans, San Diego. There's also Mexico. There's also the UK. I mean, it just keeps going on and on and on. Australia. At the end of this show, you will be given the ability to enter to win. You must be watching this live. If you're not watching live, then head on over to themindbodybusinessshow.com and register to receive automated notifications when we go live the next time. And you can also participate in this incredible prize. So come on live, and you do not want to miss a moment because of our incredible guest experts. And If you're struggling with putting a live show together and it's overwhelming and you want a lot of the processes done for you while still enabling you to put on a high quality show and connect with great people and grow your business all at the same time, then write this down, carpetbombmarketing.com. Then head on over to it after the conclusion of tonight's show. Carpet Bomb Marketing. Saturate the marketplace with your message. And to get a free lifetime membership to a phenomenal resource called the Reach Your Peak Club, your free membership will include instant access to deep discounts on major software, services, and top shelf training courses that you need to run your successful business. Think of it as your entrepreneur discount house. Catapult your business to the next level. Sign up for free now and get a hotel discount card worth $200 just for joining. Then go and grab your deep discounts. So write this down, and then after the show, once again, head on over to reachyourpeakclub.com. All right, now let's get back to the show. Good grief, let's get back to the show already. I don't know who that guy was blabbing on, but gee, many Christmas. All right, we are back with Alayna Zenger, and she is dropping some serious knowledge bombs and smart bombs and bombs of wisdom. Just unbelievable, but believable at the same time. That's pretty cool, huh? Yes. So shifting gears just a little bit. Part of the show, we talk about mind, body, and business. I don't necessarily need to cover all three every show, but I was just curious about when it comes to, you know, you're a young woman. You already said you're 22, and I'm curious at that age because the whole world's in front of you. I remember it kinda because it's such a long time ago. It's almost hard to remember it, but physically, mentally, everything, it was like, oh, the world is just there. It's going to be awesome for a long time to come, and it will be for you, definitely. Yeah. But I'm curious where you're at now at your age. How important is physical fitness to you, like staying in shape or exercising on a regular basis? And then if it is important to you, which I'm assuming it is, what is it that you're noticing by actually staying in shape and exercising on a regular basis?
Oh, yes. I love this question. I am very, very focused on it and have become just more and more obsessed with it the more that I learn about it. My personal belief is that the body is just the physical or the tangible appearance of the discipline of the mind. That's what I believe. It's the discipline. If you have self-discipline in your mind.
Hang on. Oh, hang on. You know what's coming. Oh. Woo! I was a certified personal instructor for a long time, and I've never. That was. Can you repeat that? Do you remember what you said? Holy moly, that was awesome.
The body is the tangible showing of the mind, the self-discipline of the mind. If your body is in its top physique, if it's athletic, that shows that you have self-discipline in your mind. And that's directly what I connect it to. And really that is what physical fitness is about for me. Is yes, I definitely want to be living for long time, and I want to be healthy, and I definitely don't want to get to where I'm old and can't remember things. That's something that I'm probably most scared of, is getting old and having dementia, right? And forgetting, right? And losing the capacity of my greatest asset, which is my mind. And so it's always just comes back to, okay, how do I strengthen my mind through physical means? And by doing that, I purposefully seek out discomfort. I purposely seek out challenges that are really going to push me and make me question why I'm doing it. Some examples is when I was dancing at one of the dance camps that we had, we pushed ourselves to do an 11-minute and I think 37-second plank. So a plank is where you're sitting there and you're holding your abs, right? That was very difficult, but the amount of accomplishment that I felt after that, and really what was so cool about that is it wasn't just about getting physically stronger. It was about getting mentally stronger. And we set up routines to be able to harness the mind while sitting in that plank, because that's probably the most grueling thing about a plank, is that you can't move. You're just sitting there in pain. And so it's like, I've got to be doing something mentally, or it's not going to, I'm not going to make it. Like 11 minutes of that's a whole nother thing, right? And so that was one example. Another example was I took on a challenge from one of my favorite people, David Goggins. He has this challenge called the 4x4x48, which is where you run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours.
Ooh.
So it's 48 hours total. And so we started at 4 a.m. in the morning. You run 4 miles. Then you come back and you have, so if it takes you, let's say 30 minutes to run 4 miles, definitely it took us longer. It took us about an hour each time. We would have 3 hours left to rest, and then you'd start again at 8, and then you'd start again. And every 4 hours you're running again, and you're doing that for 2 days straight. And so, the first 4 a.m. run felt great. So we're like, this is going to be a great challenge, but can you imagine the second 4 a.m. run? Where you're like, oh my God, we have been doing this for a day and we still have a whole nother day to go. That was brutal. But so valuable in terms of shaping my mind to be disciplined and pushing past my perceived limits.
So did you literally get only like 3 hours sleep then if you're doing this nonstop?
Yeah. Well, so we didn't sleep every block of time. We would sleep at the 4 a.m. block. So we'd run from 4 to 5, and then we'd have 5 until 7:30, maybe 7:15, because we have to get up and get ready to go again. But we didn't sleep during the day because we wanted to make sure it was still regulated. So yeah, my body hurt, but it was good.
That is definitely seeking out discomfort in the biggest way, for sure.
Yeah.
Wow. That's phenomenal. Oh my gosh. You are phenomenal. I am so glad you just happened to come across somehow on my Facebook and reach out. Thank you for doing that.
Yes.
There's a reason.
The power of connecting relationships.
Yes. And so, it's actually the embodiment of what we're preaching and teaching right now, right? It's exactly what she did. She practices what she preaches. Alayna does. And with that, I think this is a good time. I would like to learn more about what it is you do in your business. And I'm sure everyone else is like, what the heck does this young lady do? She's amazing. And so what I'd like to do is I'll just pull up your website of your business, your main website. And if you wouldn't mind, give our audience a nice outlay of what it is you do. What kind of clientele do you work with? Who's your target market? And finally, if you have a success story or two you'd like to share, oh my goodness, we would love to hear that as well. So go ahead and take it away, and I'll pull up your site right now.
Yes. So my business is called Your Client Success. And what we focus on is we help people who have online businesses. So we specifically target business owners with online businesses, people who have educational courses specifically. So it can be anybody with educational courses. And we come in and we set up the systems, but also help their clients actually complete their courses, because we were seeing time and time again. I did some accountability coaching before I started this business, and the amount of people that buy courses and then don't open them just constantly surprises me until I actually did it and was like, oh, I bought a course and didn't open it. And I was like, I understand now. And so we come in and we help these business owners focus on their client experience. So then their clients not only complete their courses, but get the results that the business owners have planned the clients to get. That means testimonials, that means built-in trust. And then that also means that the clients are going to stay on longer in the business because you have proved as the business owner that you can get them a result. And so you just have to give them the next step. And since you've already built the trust, they're going to go, yes, I trust you to take me to that next level. And so we help them build out those ascension offers as well, and help them move through that. So an example of a client that we helped them this past year take 8 of their clients through their $4,800 offer to their $18K offer to their $30K offer, all through automating their systems, their client success systems, where the business owners, they can go on vacation and their clients are still upgrading. They're still getting results. They're still getting testimonials in, and all of that revenue coming in their clients lasted through all of those offers, all by just focusing on the client experience. And so that is what we do.
Fantastic. And so you mentioned like three price points, and most people I know that are in business don't even have 3 offerings. Do you also help your clients to craft their other intermediate offers, maybe even their high ticket offer if they don't have one?
Yes. Yeah. A big thing that we see is that oftentimes people focus in on one offer and they go, okay, this is all the thing. This is all I'm going to give. But rather, it needs to be focused on from the big picture of what is the ultimate result that I want to get this client, and what are the programs that I can set up as milestones, and treat it more like a school setting. I don't like the education system, but this whole idea of you have to go and be a freshman and then a sophomore and then a junior and a senior because the ultimate goal is to graduate is brilliant. And people get through school that way. It's that same kind of idea. And we help our clients set that up in their own program, going, how can we get your clients to go, this is the ultimate result. Now, here are the plans. All of these steps are a different program that you upgrade to.
Interesting. You
Yeah.
know, oh my God, you can't just be 22. There's just no possible way. You are just too brilliant. My God. So I have a mentor. His name's Mel Cutler. He had a seminar business industry, in that seminar industry, I should say. And it was based on NLP, neuro-linguistic programming for business, which at the time was pretty unique. Usually it was just for personal development. And he did a very similar thing with his product structure. And it was just like that. It was like, you have to take this one course as a prerequisite to the next.
Right.
And I'll never forget, because he laid them all out. And this was when I was just a student sitting in the seats. I ended up eventually becoming the lead trainer of his company. It was awesome. Yeah. Oh God, what a great time that was. And so he would have like the entry course 101, then it was 201, and that's not what they were called, but the pinnacle one. That's the one I was eyeing. I said, I want to get to that. I knew instantly that that's where I wanted to go, but I knew, because he laid it out, you got to take the first 2 first. And it was absolutely integrity based, because you did need to have gone through those first 2 to really be able to do the third one at all. And it was masterful. And they weren't little inexpensive steps either. And it was the best money I've spent in my life, looking back on everything I've done. And so, you know, it's important to also deliver really quality results as well for people. And that's just brilliant. And to break it up, I wish I'd met you, gosh, a couple of years ago. I created myself a very comprehensive do-it-yourself, what we're doing right now, the live video show, everything behind it, all the automation. There's a ton of automation behind it and all that. And I spent a year and a half developing it.
Yeah.
I mean, focused effort. And it was 60 videos when I was done, 60. I had a beta test group run through it.
That's a lot of videos.
These were the people that said they wanted it. That's the only reason I did it, because I didn't want to do it. I knew it was going to be a big task. Not a single person made it past the 10th video, 1/6 of the way through.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'm not going to sell this because they're not getting the result. If I had you, I could have figured out different ways to kind of nudge them along and give them a little kick in the rear end. But all that, it's no big deal. I've switched to an agency model. It's done for you. It is the right way to go. It's just too much work otherwise. But it would have been nice. That would have been an option they could have had, or still could have right now. And now it's all, it's gone now. It's no good. So, but anyway, I love hearing all this, because I am in the process of trying to determine some intermediate steps as well.
Amazing.
For what we have to help people that aren't quite ready financially, but it can help them get a little farther in their journey. So
exactly.
Great stuff. Goodness sakes. Of everything you've done so far and the already obvious success you've had, if you go to her website, and I didn't bring that up, it's called yourclientsuccess.com. For those of you listening on an audio podcast, yourclientsuccess.com. Write that down. Keep listening. Write it down. Keep listening, and visit it after. You'll notice she has a lot of great marketing content there, with testimonials, with her talking, showing her in front of classrooms. Take note of what she's done. model success. That's what I always say. You don't want to invent it yourself. Just model success. So definitely go to yourclientsuccess.com. And client is singular. When you hear that client success, I always wonder, is there another S in there? No, it's clientsuccess.com.
Yeah.
And what is the best way for someone to start with you? We're not near the end of it. Well, we're getting there. We're not at the end of the show yet, but what is the best way for someone to reach out to you? What's the trigger point? Is there an opt-in form, schedule a call? What is it for you?
Yes. So there is directly on the website where if you know that, hey, this is something I want help with, you can definitely scroll down and there is a calendar available for you to book. So that is available. Yep. Right there. But we also do have a masterclass going on Monday that I'm going to be teaching a lot of these systems to you guys. And so you guys are more than welcome to join that as well. That is masterclass.yourclientsuccess.com/registration. And so you can go there and that you can go and register for that. It's completely free. Something that I believe in and also help my clients do is give away the farm. And what I mean by that is you want to give everything to your clients to succeed. And how can we organize it in a way where it's going to ascend them and make your money business, but you're really going to give them everything that you need to succeed. And so that's what I'm going to be doing in this masterclass, is giving you guys everything you need to do in order to create this process for yourself.
All right. This one's got me going. So, oops, I wanted to, one more time, I want to get that URL so I can put it up on the screen for everyone who's watching. So it's masterclass.yourclientsuccess.com/register.
So masterclass.yourclientsuccess.com/register.
Gotcha. And then /register, right?
Registration.
Registration. Thank you. Registration, is it all lowercase?
Yeah.
There we go. Those things are important. So it's on the screen now. So masterclass.yourclientsuccess.com/registration. And what time is that going and what is the price point for that?
Yes, so it's completely free. It's Monday, June 19th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time.
And do you do this on a regular basis, like often, or
this is actually our first one that we're running. So I'm very excited for it. There will probably be more in the future, but as of right now, this is our first one. So come and join us for our very first one, and you guys can give me feedback. Let me know what you think.
We can have a chat about that offline because I hold one myself and have been doing so for quite some time.
Oh, perfect.
Help each other out a little bit here. I'm going to put this in the comments for all to see and click on that are watching. I better put the HTTPS in there. Don't normally do this. Take time out but this is captivating.
I appreciate it.
There it goes out to Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. I hope LinkedIn, maybe not. And so people can click on that. But again, it's masterclass.yourclientsuccess.com/registration.
Yes.
The whole word. You know, the cool thing is, Alayna, I can be trained. It is really possible.
That's perfect. That looks great.
I say that a lot. Yeah, but you know, when you get to be an old dog like me, those things are easy to do and have fun with. I don't care. It's all good.
No,
oh my goodness. I'm glad that you've agreed to go and extend this an extra hour tonight. So I appreciate that.
Right. We totally agreed upon that.
Because I don't want to let you go. Nope. Got you now.
I'm like, so it's going fast. Like, I'm ready for more questions.
Yeah, more coming. We got a few more. And the cool thing is that the time did fly by. That's always a good sign. And yeah, I could literally talk to you for hours. You're such a breath of fresh air, at the same time so astute and so knowledgeable. You are a peer, right? And you're right there. I'm just thinking, my gosh, so many people that I would love to get you connected with. And I promised to do that some time ago, and I failed on that promise so far, but I will still do that. So I'm saying that out loud, recorded. Everybody can go back to me and say, hey, did you ever help Alayna out? And
you got the accountability right here.
Exactly. And so you get it all. You must have read. Are you well read? Have you read a lot of books?
Yes, I have read a lot of books. That definitely does contribute to it as well.
And that is also just incredibly obvious that you have done that. Just listening to you, you can tell. And that's, again, to everyone watching and listening, the importance of reading books and the right books. So go to reachyourpeaklibrary.com, look at the books, get them from wherever you want. You don't have to buy them from that site, and just start reading if you haven't been. If you are, find the next one. There's odds are there's one or two or more in there that you have not yet read. I'm way behind in updating that list too. I was looking at my Audible account, like, my goodness, I got to get these out to the
There's
team.
so many. There's so many.
Yeah, I may have to make it more organized so people that are looking for a specific thing can find it. But it's more fun just to randomly throw them in there. You got it's kind of like, I don't know if you're familiar with Costco, Major, and Sam's Club. They purposely move products around on you, so you have to go search, and while you're searching you see new products. It's genius. Again, it's like awesome. Yep. Hey, what's that?
Actually, I think I need that.
Don't ever go hungry. Don't ever go to Costco hungry.
No, that's like the rule of going to the store. Don't go hungry. Been done that. Not a good idea.
It is. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good one. What one thing, you only get one again. If you could think of one thing that you could hang your hat on, the one you're wearing, that you could say without a doubt, you can attribute that one thing to your current level of success, what would that be? Yes, I love it.
You do your emotions.
You do your emotions?
You do your emotions. What I mean by that is you get to choose at every moment, every minute, that how you feel, how you want to show up, what responsibility you take. You get to choose, which means that every situation that you're a part of, the outcome is your fault. And that can be hard for some people to take. Like, they may not like that, right? Because they want to blame, right? It's easy to blame. But by understanding that I can actually choose to feel differently about a thing, about a person, about a situation, and flip it on its head and go, this is actually for me, this is going to help me, and I can learn from this, that changes the whole game. And from me focusing on that emotional mastery has made the world.
I think I'm going to wear this button out if we had another hour to talk. My goodness, that is phenomenal. It's just, my God, you're beyond your years in knowledge and in intelligence, and also you are like normal as far as your social, right? You've got the package, the full package, Alayna, and you're going to go so far. You're already doing well, but you're going to really crush it if you continue down this path. Oh my gosh. And you do your emotions. So I'm glad you expanded on that, because it's, another way of saying it is being at cause at all times. So, it's like, it's not necessarily your fault when things go wrong, but is there some way, somehow you could have some part of responsibility for that happening? If you're driving a car and you stop at a stoplight lawfully and legally, and then poof, you get rear-ended. Well, what are you going to be? You're going to be pissed off at the person behind you. And at that moment, just like you said, Alayna, you have a choice. How do you react? It's human to be upset. Don't worry about that. It's okay. But get past that. And now how can that become a learning moment? Well, how could you possibly be responsible for that? I mean, come on. I followed the law. I stopped at the red light. I didn't hit the car in front of me. How could this be my responsibility? Well, you got to take it really far. And the farther you take it, the better it is. So who decided to get out of bed at the moment that they got out of bed that day?
And drive.
And then who decided to get in the car and drive? Then who decided to take that specific route to get to that destination? Then it's like, yeah, but this is crazy. That's right, it is. And the more ridiculous you can make it, the more powerful it will be. And that's a very huge, it is a ridiculous example, but it's a great one, because now it makes it easier to be at cause in all other situations. Wow, Alayna is so pissed off at me. I'm mad at her. Why is that? Well, think about it. Maybe you did nothing, but did you help her with calming down? Or, I mean, did you decide to get on the phone with her knowing that she might already be emotional? I'm sorry, Elaine, I shouldn't use this as an example because you're not that way.
No, you're good.
No,
you're good.
no.
I have my moments. I think we all do. But the idea of it always being your fault can be taken two different ways. It can be taken as, oh, what, that sucks. Like it's always my fault. Like, no, that's not the case. Or it can be such a statement of power and hope, because that means that at any moment you have the opportunity to change your current life, to be something different, to recreate yourself and show up better. And so, yeah, you may have made a million mistakes in the past, but you can choose something different in this moment and you can be something different. And that's what I think is so powerful about that statement is when you really come in and go, I'm honestly the creator of my life. I get to decide. I've created everything up until this point. I now have the power to create anything I want. And so let me lean into that. And when you lean into that, really anything that you want can be created.
Yeah, and when we make excuses or give reasons or point blame, we are relinquishing our power.
Yeah.
To do anything, just like you were saying with the power. We would say, and I've said this from stage, you can either have reasons or you can have results. You can't have both. So which one do you choose? So, every time we make an excuse or complain about something, we are giving away our power to excel and go farther. And we're giving it away to someone else or something else because we're just making excuses. But how is that going to propel you forward? It's not. Right. It's still, again, it's okay to have that initial human response, negative emotion. That's okay, but just be aware of it. And then when you feel it and you see it and you sense it, now how do you reframe it and make it work for you, not against you? Like you said, right. It's done for you, not to you. That was very, God grief. I mean, you must have been reading at the age of 3 until now. I mean, I
don't think I was like any like amazing like wonder child. I wasn't like reading early or anything like that. I think for me, it's just I've had a very high expectation for myself and the standard that I want to live up to, which, there are a lot of responsibility again. And when you don't hit that standard, it can really suck. But it's about, okay, how do I come back again and again and make it so then I do hit that standard and I do show up and I do approach situations how I really want to. And that gets amazing results. But also, I think what's more important than the results is the fact that I have self-respect for myself and I can look in the mirror and have a conversation with myself and go, yeah, like I've showed up. I'm here, like, we're going to do it again today, and I love it, and let's do it. That type of thing.
You've given me such great supreme hope for the young generation that you are part of, because, I have a son and a daughter they're a little older than you, but not much. And it's just the things we see looking back where a lot of younger adults are going and how they're managing their lives is a little bit frightening at times as a parent. Wondering, my gosh, what is this is going to be for our kids and stuff. You gave me a lot of hope tonight, like just coming on and being so integrity based, so intelligent, so well learned, so disciplined, so focused, so driven, so insert incredible adjective here. But oh my gosh, I just looked at the clock. So I did not forget. For those of you that came and stayed on live to the end, we are giving away a 5-night vacation stay at a 5-star luxury resort. And that's compliments of actually Reach Your Peak, my company. We are sponsoring that. And we'll do that in just a second. I like to close every show out, Alayna, with one specific question. And it's a very profound question. How did it come about? I used to ask it on occasion back 4 or 5 years ago when I was first doing the show. And I started recognizing the answers, and they were like profound. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, this is great. And so I decided to end every show with it. And it's a great way to end. And it's a really powerful, not because of the question, it's because of the answers that have been coming. Yeah. It's really unique. Before we get to that, we can't just do it right now and let you be done with it, can we? No.
I'm ready. I'm like, what's this question?
In NLP, we call that an open loop.
Yep, I
Yes.
am aware of that. I know plenty about that. Those open loops.
In marketing, it's called the Gazarnik effect, the cliffhanger.
I have not
Yes.
heard the Gazarnik effect.
The Garnick, yeah, is named after a person. Yeah, so it's all similar. All right, but before we ask that question, the prize. So everyone, get out your pens. Even guest experts can enter this, Alayna. So hint, hint,
Nice.
wink, wink. And I've had some win. So what you
So
want to do is write this URL down. I'll put it up on the screen. And again, you must be watching live. So if you're not watching live, you know what to do. You got to go to the mindbodybusinessshow.com, click on any of the buttons that say where and how to watch, and it will give you a registration form. We do not spam. We do not pitch. We do not sell. We just give you an update when our next show is going live. So you can just click a link and be here with us and win this and magnificent prize. So go write this down. You want to, after the show's over, you want to go to ryp.im/vacation. RYP, that stands for Reach Your Peak, .im/vacation, all lowercase, enter to win. After the show's over, we will be monitoring it long after the show's over. So, but do it soon. Do it soon after we say goodnight and call this show a wrap. So there was this thing about a final question I recall. And I cannot wait. Here's the cool thing about this, Alayna. There is no such thing as a wrong answer.
Oh, yes.
It's impossible. It's not a test. It's not a pass fail. In fact, it's an automatic pass is actually what it is. The cool thing is the exact opposite is the true thing is that is the only correct answer is yours. Because it's going to be unique to you. Is that enough buildup? Are you really ready? You feeling
I'm like sitting on the edge of my seat here. I'm like, okay, like what's the question?
I love it. So, all right, here we go. You are ready then. You're telling me you're ready?
Yes.
All right. Alayna Zenger, how do you define success?
Ooh, I should have known this one was coming. This one's so good. For me, success looks like very simple. Okay. I actually see it as an equation. Success looks like developing a set of skills, mastering those skills so that you can use them to serve a higher purpose, something greater than yourself. And that equals fulfillment. That is what I think success is pursuing that relentless pursuit of growth, skill acquisition, and mastering the mind to be able to use those skills to create and contribute to something bigger than yourself. Doing that day after day after day. And this is a game that is played, not won. You do not win the game of mastering your mind. This is something that is played every single day until the day that you die. And it's done through putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, discipline, showing up for yourself, deciding to actually be honest and take responsibility. And doing that equals ultimate fulfillment. And ultimate fulfillment to me looks like being able to be okay with yourself when you're by yourself. To be able to be completely alone and go, yeah, I'm good. I feel proud about myself. I am happy with who I am. I know who I am. Nothing can touch me because I'm going to show up how I'm going to show up. And that is what it means to be successful.
And you know how that's going to end, don't you?
I do.
Oh yeah. Nothing but smart bombs, knowledge bombs, bombs of wisdom, even just golden nuggets, all wrapped up into one nice package. So my gosh, Alayna, you are an amazing young woman. I said it once before. I so appreciate you coming on, being with us here tonight. You've been an absolute blessing. And I've had the most fun I've had in a long time with any guest I've had. You've surprised me in so many great ways. And you were a fantastic host in your own right when I was a guest on your show. And I appreciate you and thank you for that as well. I think this is the beginning of what's going to happen for a while now. And so the thing is, you probably heard the saying, you can choose your family, but you can't choose your friends. Have you heard that?
No, I've heard
No?
the opposite. You can choose your friends, but you can't choose your
Oh,
family.
sorry, you're right.
Okay, I was like, whoa, wait, you can't choose your friends. I follow now.
Woo, thank you for clarifying that. I saw the look you're looking around. I'm like, oh, I said, okay. Yes, thank you for that clarification. Well, the thing is you're now family, so you're stuck.
Amazing. This has
I
been so
kind
good.
of lost the oomph because I got it wrong to begin with. My goodness, I was like, geez, Brian, wake up.
You're like, yeah, heard that? No, I heard that. I got you. I got you.
I love it. Thank you so much, Alayna. On behalf of the amazing Alayna Zenger, I am your host, Brian Kelly of the Mind Body Business Show. Oh, man, that was great. That was great. I cannot wait for the next show. This one is going to have a nice luster for a long time. Appreciate you, Alayna. And I can't wait to meet you in person sometime. Come on down to Florida when you hit your next Airbnb, or maybe we'll cross paths as we're heading across the country. But either way, please stay connected. And for everyone else, we can't wait to see you on the next edition of the Mind Body Business Show. Until then, please, everyone, do two things. Go out there and serve and crush it. Help people. And the second one is, above all, please be blessed. That's it for us. Have a great evening. So long for now. Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Business Show podcast at www.themindbodybusinessshow.com. My name is Brian Kelly.